Good morning and welcome to the Public Service Commission of South Carolina. We are here this morning for a public hearing to hear from customers of Duke Energy Progress LLC regarding the application in docket 2022-254E and Duke Energy Progress's request for an increase in electric rates. Let's take a roll call of commissioners. Before I call the roll, it is Thursday, January 5th at about 9:02 a.m. Present in the hearing room, we have Vice Chair Powers, Commissioner Justin Williams, and Chair Belser. And with us virtually, we have Commissioner Irvin, Commissioner Thomas, Commissioner Kara Lee Williams, and Commissioner Caston. Let's take appearances from parties. Who's here for the applicant this morning?
Madam Chair, Frank Ellerby here for Duke Energy Progress this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Ellerby. Anyone from the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair. Roger Hall on behalf of the department.
Good morning, Mr. Hall.
Thank you.
Anyone from the federal executive agencies? Any representative of South Carolina Small Business Chamber of Commerce? Anyone from Nucor Steel, South Carolina? Anyone from South Carolina Coastal Conservation League, Southern Alliance for Clean Energy and Vote Solar? Sierra Club? Walmart Incorporated? South Carolina Energy Users Committee? Office of Regulatory Staff?
Good morning, Madam Chair. Nicole Given on behalf of the Office of Regulatory Staff.
Thank you, Ms. Given. As stated, we are here to receive customer testimony regarding the pending application. Any preliminary matters before we begin? Mr. Ellerby for Duke Energy Progress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair and members of the Commission. Appreciate you convening this customer hearing, and we look forward to participating. My name is Frank Ellerby, the Robinson Gray Law Firm representing Duke Energy Progress this morning. With me in the hearing room is Marcus Preston of the company, who is Director of Regulatory Affairs with an office here in Columbia. Attending virtually are Mike Callahan, who is the South Carolina State President for Duke Energy Progress, Larry Hatcher, who's Senior Vice President of Customer Services, and Sam Holman, who is Vice President of Transmission System Planning and Operations. And those gentlemen, and Mr. Preston and myself, will be listening to the concerns of the customers that they will be providing to the Commission this morning, and we appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ellerby. And I believe that scrolling across the bottom of the screen is a phone number that customers could call if they have questions. Is that correct? And would you like to give that number out loud?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. We have, because of the hearing is being conducted virtually, we have arranged for customers who wish to contact the company to do so by placing a call to a number that I believe is on the screen. I will give it now and can repeat it as necessary. It's 803-988-7132. That's a customer service number, and the call will go to voicemail, and then the company will monitor the voicemail and listen to the recording, and then have the appropriate person contact the customer. If the customer would leave their name and phone number, the company will call them back and attempt to address their concerns. Thank you for that reminder.
Thank you, Mr. Ellerby. Mr. Hall, do you have any opening comments?
Not at this time, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Given?
Briefly, Madam Chair.
Thank you. You may stay seated or you may go to a podium, wherever you're more comfortable.
I'll go to a podium. Thank you. Madam Chair, thank you again for recognizing me. Vice Chair Powers, members of the commission, good morning. Again, my name is Nicole Given, and I'm appearing today on behalf of the South Carolina Office of Regulatory Staff. ORS is a state agency which is separate and apart from the Public Service Commission. ORS is charged with representing the public interest and making recommendations to the commission regarding the application filed by Duke Energy Progress. Importantly, the hearing this morning provides consumers with an opportunity to share their thoughts and comments regarding Duke Energy Progress LLC's application for an increase in electric rates, adjustments in electric rate schedules and tariffs, and requests for an accounting order. It is important that the commission hears from consumers as they make a final decision in this matter. Similarly, scrolling on the screen is a customer service number for ORS Consumer Services. That number is 1-800-922-1531. There's also an alternate phone number, which is 803-737-5230. ORS Consumer Services representatives are available Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. In closing, Madam Chair, I would just ask that the pre-registration sheet from this morning's hearing be made part of the record in this case.
Ms. Given, the pre-registration sheet will be marked, I believe we're on Exhibit 5, will be marked as hearing Exhibit 5 and entered into the record of the case. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
If there are no more preliminary matters, do we have our first witness available?
Yes, Madam Chair. Our first witness this morning will be Ron Accord. Ron Accord, can you hear me?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. If you would please affirm that the testimony you're about to give represents the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you, sir. Will you please provide the commission with your name, your street name in your town, but not your full address, and whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer?
Okay. Yes, I am a Duke Energy customer, and I'm in Hartsville, South Carolina, on Glen Acres Drive.
Thank you, sir. And please confirm your name.
Ronald Akard.
Thank you, Mr. Akard. You may begin your testimony. You will have 3 minutes. Please do remain on the line once those 3 minutes have elapsed, as the parties or commissioners may have questions for you following your testimony.
Okay. Well, basically, what I'm wanting to say is people like, I stay with my girlfriend, and me and her both disabled, and we live on a fixed income, and trust me, it's fixed pretty low, and we just can barely make ends meet now. And if they do raise the power, what are people like us supposed to do? I mean, like I said, our power bill runs $200-300 a month, if not more sometimes, and it's really a struggle. And of course, as we all know, I mean, South Carolina I love it, but it's not one of the richest states in the world. And I think any kind of a raise on utilities right now, with the way inflation is kicking in and everything, that would put a whole bunch of people under a lot of stress. And some people wouldn't, they're going to have a hard time handling it. So I just think this is not the appropriate time for any kind of utility raises, including Duke Progress Energy, because, like I said, prices are going up in stores, gas, work, you name it. And so that's just something that I think we really need to try to keep a handle on if we can. And I understand companies need to make a profit, but like I said, I think we could put this off for a little bit. All right, and thank you so very much.
Mr. Accord, this is Chair Belser. Thank you for your testimony this morning. Please hold on the line, and let's see if there are any questions for you.
No questions from the company.
Okay.
No questions from ORS.
Commissioners, any questions for this witness? Mr. Accord, that sounds like that your testimony was clear and nobody needed any clarification, and therefore there are no questions. And I would like to thank you for calling in, being a witness and participating in the proceeding this morning. Thank you very much. You're excused.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Chair, our next witness is Sharon Oliver. Do we have Sharon Oliver on the line?
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Oliver. If you'd please affirm that the testimony you're about to give represents the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. Please provide the commission with your name, your street name, and your town, but not your full address, and whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer.
Sharon Oliver, Cumberland Way, Sumter, and I am a Duke Energy customer.
Thank you, ma'am. You may begin your testimony. You will have 3 minutes. Please do remain on the line once those 3 minutes have elapsed, as the parties or commissioners may have questions for you.
Okay. Yes, I've always paid close to $100, a little more, but I noticed the jump last month, about $40 more, and this month over $150 more. That's absolutely ridiculous to me. The average person is on a fixed income, whether working or not. You get a certain amount of money, and with everything else costs high, that's a phenomenal jump. And I understand they may increase it more. And most people are not going to be able to afford such an increase, especially with a few more cold months, heating bills going up. I just think that just represents some greediness.
Ms. Oliver, does that complete your testimony?
That's it.
Thank you. Hold on and let's see if there are any questions.
No questions.
Okay.
No questions.
No questions.
Commissioners, questions for this witness?
Madam Chair.
Vice Chair Powers?
That's it.
Just a moment, Ms. Oliver. There's a question from some commissioners.
Okay.
Miss Oliver, good morning. Hope you're doing well.
Good morning.
You said that your bill jumped $150 this month, and my bills seem to lag a month behind. Is this a bill for a November service, or is this a bill for December service?
I guess December service, it was due, my bill is normally due around the middle of the month. It's for January. I just paid it a few days ago.
Okay. And you're not on a program that averages your bill out. You just pay according to whatever that month is.
Yes, because I just moved to this location in October, so I think I have to wait a year to get that annual program, I believe.
Okay.
To know my average.
What, your first month, were you there the whole month? I mean, this is a very sizable jump you're talking
The
about.
first month, I moved here the middle of October, so my first bill in November was $400. And then the next bill in December was $468. And then my next bill, which I just paid, was $249. Well, $250.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioners, any other questions for this witness? Ms. Oliver, thank you for being willing to testify this morning. We certainly appreciate your testimony. And as there are no more questions, you may be excused, and we wish you a good day.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next witness is Monica Murdaugh. Monica Murdaugh, are you on the line? Monica Murdaugh, can you hear me?
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Murdaugh, if you would please if you would please affirm that the testimony you're about to give represents the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Will you please provide the commission with your name, your street name, and your town, but not your complete address, and whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer?
Monica Murdoch, Lexington Avenue, Kingstree, South Carolina. And I am a customer of Duke Energy.
Thank you, ma'am. You may begin your testimony, for which you will have 3 minutes. After those 3 minutes, please remain on the line, as the parties or commissioners may have questions for you.
Thank Thank you. I'm just calling to voice my opinion regarding the price hike. Though I understand that inflation is a part of life, at this time, and especially for those of the senior population, this would be detrimental to those who are disabled, those who are elderly and only receive limited benefits, especially the fixed incomes of Social Security, retirement, as I am, though I'm still fortunate to continue to work. Also, as a former member of our town council, I've seen the direct impact upon inflation when our utilities go up in rate for our citizens, because they have to then determine whether they buy food or they have utilities or they have medications. So I would really appreciate if Duke would look at all those mitigating factors before they make a decision to increase our energy rates in an astronomical term. And so with that concludes my testimony, and I pray you all have a wonderful day.
Ms. Murdoch, please hold for just a second and let's see if there are any questions for you.
Okay.
Mr. Ellaby.
Ms. Murdoch, this is Frank Ellerby. I'm the lawyer appearing for the company this morning. It sounds like you might be a person in the community who can help other folks take advantage of some of the programs that the company offers. Do you know about some of the programs that the company offers to help folks level out their bills, for example, or the energy efficiency program? Are you aware of those, Ms. Murdoch?
Yes, I get the energy efficiency reports every month. I also know that previously you've done like a weatherization program where you actually came to my house, my mother's house, did the weather stripping to avoid all the drafts and energize our homes. You did the shower heads to make things more economical in terms of water flow, all of that. I'm trying to remember the thermostats. You gave us the little thermometers to go in the refrigerator in the house, and just the recommendations of where to keep your thermostat to conserve energy. I'm also aware that, during our cold snap about 2 weeks ago, just before Christmas, you sent out text and email alerts, which I was privy to get, because, to ask us to conserve so we wouldn't pull off the grid. And I participated in that because I don't want my light bill higher, so I don't use unnecessary electricity when I can. And so I'm aware of most of the programs. And I think you also may have a solar program in place at this time. I can't remember. But, I've been looking into a lot more things because I have a lot of businesses that I do business with, and trying to find programs for them, especially in our area of new daycare that's in a home, and trying to get her new windows and stuff like that because it's an old home and she's doing the repairs herself, but trying to find some grants like through Duke Energy to possibly weatherize her house so that she doesn't have drafts with children and especially a lot of my special needs children that I serve in that home. And then her bill won't be astronomically higher. Therefore, the parents won't have to pay more so that she can come, because they're typically parents who are working, and that's another, and then may or may not be on ABC vouchers. So they're having to pay full price for daycare. And so it's just a snowball effect. If one thing goes up, then everything goes up.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Murdoch, thank you very much for your efforts to get the word out about those things. And we especially appreciate you responding to the company's request to reduce usage during the cold snap. So thanks very much for that, and I appreciate your testimony. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Yes, my father was his favorite quote when I lived in his home as a child. Y'all have to save my kilowatts. And so that's what I passed on to my child. Turn off the lights, turn this down. We have to save kilowatts.
Hold just a second, Ms. Murdoch. Any further questions?
No questions from ORS.
Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Murdoch?
Madam Chair, I have a
Commissioner
question.
Justin Williams.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Thank you for taking the time to call in. You come across as very knowledgeable about your community, and I'm interested in how you became so knowledgeable about Duke's programs. Was there like a meeting or some level of outreach, or are you just reading your inserts in the bill and the text messages you receive?
Reading inserts, searching, especially for others, participating in the programs. As I said, when you did the door-to-door, it's been maybe 10, not quite 10 years, I think. But you did the door-to-door program where the guys came around and they actually just came door-to-door and did assess the homes and did the weatherization programs, you know, whether it was weather stripping around the doors. I still got mine at my house. The little thermostats to put in the infrared, the little strip thermostats that you could stick in the refrigerator. I have the light switch thermostat so you could adjust, you know, you could see what the temperature was really in your home. And also, as I said, as a former member of town council, having contact with Duke about the lights being out in King Street, and we need lights redone, which Duke has come in and changed from our old solenoid. Yeah, we still had old solenoid bulbs, and now we have the LEDs, and I think they've just about replaced all of them in town. So I've had a lot of contact with Duke, whether it was sending emails with the plate numbers on the light posts. This light is out, that light is out, you know, whether I send it to you directly, called it into you directly, or send it to our town manager, whoever was town manager at the time. I stay on your text alert program, so I get many of your texts, especially your thank you for my payment. I'm like, I'm glad y'all appreciate my payment. Keep my lights on. And so just as a community leader, even though I don't have the title anymore, gave it up last year, maybe 2 years ago, 2020. No, it was last year. Whenever there's something going on, the transformer is right at my house, right behind my house. So if I hear a transformer blow, I don't mind going out door to door and letting people know, look, or I'll post on Facebook, our lights are out. It's a transformer that blew. If you didn't pay your bill, it might not be because you didn't pay your bill right now, but it's because a transformer blew. I've already contacted Duke Energy. They will, you know, get it up as quickly as possible. And so, I use social media a lot to let people still know what's going on around our town and what's available.
All right, thank you for that, ma'am. The reason I asked that question, and this is not just with this rate case, but whenever utilities file a rate case, it seems that there are a lot of members of the community that are not very connected to their utility, especially in the way that you are. And I'm just wondering, do you have any suggestions to help with customer education?
Well, if okay, social media blurbs for the younger people. For the older people, you're really going to have to do like community forums. Just call in community forums and not just say, okay, we're going to have this at town hall, because most people in our area who are the less informed, they're intimidated of coming to stuff like that. So if you can get into the community and go into some of the areas, maybe use a church fellowship hall, maybe use the community center in some of the housing, I hate to call them projects, the housing communities. Just go in and educate people with what's going on and give them what to do, or put some kind of flyer in the mail, you know, with bullet points, and make it really succinct. Don't make it too elaborate, but just a succinct flyer of, did you know? That's one thing I like to do. Did you know? And did you know if you do this, this can help with your light bill? Just simple stuff. If you do this, and not just print it on the bill, because if most people are like me, I pretty much look at how much do I have to pay. And I really got to ease it now, because my stuff has always been on EPP. I don't like all this up and down. Just tell me what I need every month, and this is what you get. And so they need to know just something that basic. A lot of people don't know about the EPP. and it makes it better for budgeting versus I've got a $300 light bill this month, and then next month I got a $200 bill, and then the next month I may have a $50 bill. You will know exactly what you pay each month until your your new month, your annual review, and then it may change with that rate. But just little things like that for people to know, and maybe each month send out something with 5 points versus sending a big sheet with 10 or 20 points. Give people, you got to give folks snippets of information, because we all know from social media and the electronic age, if it doesn't happen within, I think it's supposed to be 2 to 4 seconds, if it doesn't pop up, people lose interest. So if it's something that's going to take too long for them to read through, it's going in file 13. But something just quick, did you know? Boom, make it colorful too. I'm a colorful person, so make it colorful. Red is my favorite color. People really tend to look at red. So look at the colors and that kind of stuff.
All right. Thank you for sharing, ma'am. Thank you for testifying.
You're welcome.
I believe Commissioner Caston has a question.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. And thank you, Ms. Murdoch. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Good. As a customer of Duke who is active in the community and an energy conservationist, are you more interested in affordability or investment in carbon reduction and renewable energy?
Both.
Is one more important than the other, or would you like to do both? If there's
I would like
a different
to do both
type.
because you said the carbon reducing, right? And ergonomical, is that what you said? The second part?
What? Are you more interested in affordability regardless of the generation source, or whether that's carbon reduction, renewable energy? I mean, is one more important than the other, or is the interest greater in affordability or whatever the less bill is, regardless of the generation source?
Well, I really think they work in tandem, because if you look at being, a conservationist and using other options, it will make things a little more affordable for you.
Okay.
So I'm a proponent of both.
Understand. Thank you, Ms. Murdoch. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome.
Any further questions for this witness?
Madam Chair.
Vice Chair Powers.
Ms. Murdoch, thank you, and thank you for your work in your community. Obviously, you've had a lot of contact with Duke and have made calls. When you make calls, how long do you stay on hold before you get a person, or how many people do you have to go through?
The times that I actually made calls, I know calls probably were within 5 minutes, from the inception of the call to the end. So maybe 5 minutes. Most of mine is through, because of the wonderful text system. I'm one, I like things in black and white because I have a paper trail. So I love being able to text, and I can text you, is there an outage? Yeah, I can text outage in my area. You automatically have it in the system of who I am, because of course my phone number is connected to my account. So boom, okay, there's a outage at so-and-so Lexington Avenue. And then I can get alerts throughout. So yeah, things are done pretty expeditiously whenever I contact you. Even with when we had the outage with the lights in town, I sent that through the town manager at the time, and the explanation came back very quickly. We're not replacing the solenoids right now because we're trying to wait till all of them, as many of them blow out, and then we will replace with LED. And so we were able to let the citizens know, yeah, your street might be dark right now, but they're looking to replace all of them with LEDs. So instead of a bunch of back and forth, it's more economical and efficient to come in and replace 5 lights versus coming in 5 different times to replace one.
Well, you realize a lot of seniors probably would not text or get on the internet and would have to use the phone to contact Duke or any sort of provider for anything.
That's true, and that's why I'm also an advocate for families to take care of their seniors. For those who have, younger family members, I'm constantly look, this is what happens. You've got these seniors, take care of them. They took care of you.
Do you think there should be a button that you could get directly to a live person when you have to call some sort of service like this?
Yeah, and see, I live in an older. I grew up in this neighborhood for 57 years, even though I'm only 19. I grew up in this neighborhood for 57 years, so I know a lot of the elderly population around here. So even when things happen, as I said, I go out of my house. I don't mind going door to door and saying, "Look, this is what's going on."
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Murdoch.
Any further questions? Ms. Murdoch, thank you very much for testifying this morning. We appreciate your participation and wish you a good day.
You all have a wonderful day also. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next witness is Winifred Graham. Winifred Graham, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thank you, Ms. Graham. If you would please affirm that the testimony you are about to give represents the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Will you please provide the commission with your name, your street name in your town, but not your full address, and whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer?
My name is Winifred Graham. I live at 111 Dove Street, and I am a Duke Progress Energy user.
Thank you, ma'am. And in what town are you located?
Kingstree, South Carolina.
Thank you, Ms. Graham. You may begin your testimony. You will have 3 minutes. After those 3 minutes, please do remain on the line as commissioners or parties may have questions for you.
Yes, basically I had a comment as to what additional services are available to the community. I am on a fixed income, and with the rates being raised, what programs are provided for those people with fixed incomes? I've had Duke Energy come to my home and provide what is it? I'm sorry, I'm nervous. They put caulking around the doors. They put on my water heater. They insulated the, I'm gonna say pipes. They came in and they gave, the update with the light bulbs and whatnot. This was a while ago. But what other resources are provided for low-income people that use Duke Energy?
Ms. Graham, this is Commissioner Belser, and unfortunately, we can't answer questions in this. The commission can't. I'm gonna let the lawyer for Duke Energy talk to you a minute.
Good morning, Ms. Graham. This is Frank Ellerby. I'm the lawyer representing Duke Energy Progress this morning. If we were meeting in person, I would ask you to step to the back of the room and talk to Marcus Preston, who's here with me. Since this is a virtual meeting and you're calling in, what I would ask you to do, we do not have your phone number, and we may be able to find you on our customer list, but what I would ask you to do is to call the number, and I'm going to give it to you right now. It's 803-988-7132. If you could leave...
Can you repeat that, please?
Yes, ma'am. It's 803-988-7132. And you're going to get a voicemail, and if you will leave your name and your phone number, somebody from the company will call you back and talk to you about the programs that you're asking about that may be available. Sounds like you've already had the benefit of the home energy house call program, which sounds like where the company came in and helped with some energy efficiency, weather stripping, and insulation and things like that. But there may be other programs that would be available and might be able to address some of your concerns. So if you would do us the favor of putting a phone call in and leaving that message, somebody from the company will get back to you promptly.
All right, I certainly will.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your testimony, and I have no further questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Ellaby.
All right, thank you.
Ms.
I
Graham.
appreciate you listening.
Ms. Graham, thank you. Just a moment. Did you get the
Yes.
phone number? Were you able to write down the phone number that Mr. Ellaby gave you?
Yes, 803-988-7132.
Yes, ma'am. Hold on just a second. Any further questions for Ms. Graham?
Not a question, Madam Chair. I would just point out that if Ms. Graham has specific billing or service issues, she can also call ORS Consumer Services, and I'd be happy to give her that number when she is ready.
Ms. Graham, did you hear that?
Yes, I'm ready to write.
Okay.
Excellent. Ms. Graham, the telephone number is 1-800-922 922
Okay.
1531.
Yes. All right, that's 1-800-922-1531.
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Are there any further questions for Ms. Graham?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Ms. Graham.
Good morning.
I appreciate your testimony this morning. I'm trying to understand a day in the life or a month in the life, maybe even a year, when it comes to your bill in the life of Ms. Graham. We know that you cannot switch your energy company or get energy for someone else. Say the way you could if you wanted to get service for or get a product for a product available on the open market. You can't. You don't have a choice. You're locked in. So when you look at your Duke bill each month, how do you manage your usage? Since you're sort of locked in, what do you do to try to manage your usage or manage the bill that you receive each month?
Well, basically, if it's warm outside and it's cold, I open the doors and I let the sunshine heat the house. Like in the morning when the sun comes up, I open my doors so my heat doesn't come on. I turn off lights. I don't have appliances plugged in that are not being used. And for lamps, if a lamp is not being used, it's unplugged as well. I try to do my laundry in the evening. Those are basically the things that I do. And try to keep my water consumption less, like using less hot water when I can. So the hot water heater runs by electricity, where that's not used as much. In the summertime, I keep the thermostat a little bit higher than usual so it doesn't come on as much. In the wintertime, I try to lower it a couple of degrees. Just basic things like that. And I use energy efficient light bulbs. That sort of thing.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. So in other words, or I should say, is it fair to say that you feel like you've done everything that you can do to conserve energy in your home?
Yes.
All right. And do you feel like what you've done and the work the company has done is satisfactory? Are you comfortable with where you are and comfortable with your relationship with the company and the service you receive?
Yes, in my area, if there's any type of inclement weather coming, you can see Duke Energy trucks roaming around. I think the last time when we had like a big hurricane, I went to Florida to stay with my daughter. I know this is personal, but as I was driving along the highway, I tell everybody, Duke Energy was sitting there waiting to work. This was during the hurricane. I forget which one it was. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. And even in this area, if any inclement weather is on the way and it's going to be like a power outage or anything like that, you can see the Duke Energy trucks roaming around, and I appreciate that. I know it may seem like a little thing, but that I noticed.
No, it's not little at all, actually. And so, generally speaking, you're satisfied with your service.
I am satisfied with the services. It's just the rate part of it being on a fixed income that I'm really concerned about.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for sharing, ma'am. Do you have any, well, I can't answer any questions, but if you have any questions, the chair can direct you who can answer them.
Okay. No, I don't have any other questions right now.
Any further questions for Ms. Graham? Ms. Graham, I'd like to thank you for your participation this morning and your testimony. We certainly appreciate you taking your time to share your concerns with us. And with that, I think you're through with testifying, and we'd like to wish you a good day.
All right, thank you, and I appreciate you listening.
Thank you, Ms. Graham.
All right, so have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Our next witness is Ruth Williams Robinson. Miss Williams Robinson, Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Excellent. If you would please affirm that the testimony you're about to give represents the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you. Will you please provide the commission with your name, your street name, and the name of your town, but not your full street address, and whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer?
Yes, my street name is Woodlawn Avenue, and I'm in Sumter, South Carolina. My name is on the Duke is under Ruth Williams, Stooks Williams. But I got married, so I'm under Ruth Robinson.
Gotcha. And you are a Duke Energy Progress customer?
I am. Yes, I am.
Thank you, ma'am. You may begin your testimony, for which you will have 3 minutes. After those 3 minutes have elapsed, please remain on the line, as the parties or commissioners may have questions for you.
Okay.
You may begin your testimony whenever you wish.
Okay. Yes. I am on a budget plan with Duke Energy, and 2 months ago, my bill was $206. Prior to that was $197. And then it went to next month, it went to $207. And it jumped from $207 to $366. Last month I paid $366. This month it's going to be $366. It jumped from $200. That's over $150 in 1 month. I am on a fixed income. I don't work anywhere. I'm on a fixed income. So that's a third of my income to try to pay in power bill. That is entirely too much. I don't know what's going on with the power companies these days or what have you, but that is entirely too much for somebody on a fixed income. And then they're supposed to be on a budget plan. That budget plan is out of control right now, as far as I'm concerned, because that is too much for me to pay. It's taking up too much of my money, the power bill. And I live here basically by myself. You know, I have a home, and my husband has a home in Somerton, and his power bill went from 149 in November to 178 in December, and then it's going up to $280 this next payment for January. So that is probably too much, and we do need to speak up. And I wish I had some more people in the area that could speak up, because most of us around here are on fixed income, and it's just too much. We can't afford to pay that much power bill if you're not using all that energy. So I don't know what's going on with the companies, but it is to me, it's probably too much.
Ms. Robinson, hold on just a minute and let me see if there are any questions from any of the parties or the commissioners. Mr. Ellaby?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Williams, it sounds, my name is Frank Ellerby. I'm representing the company this morning. Just a couple of questions for you. It sounds like you're on a budget billing plan is that right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Have you, and appreciate you looking into and taking advantage of that program. I'm sorry about your experience. Have you contacted the company about having the energy efficiency house call where they send somebody to your home and make suggestions about ways that you could save energy? Have you tried to take advantage of that program?
Not recently. They have done that in the past. They've done that. They did that a few years ago, but I have not done that. Have not done that recently.
If you would like to take advantage of that program again, what we need to do, I do not want you. This is a public gathering. I do not want you to give your phone number out publicly, but if you could call the number, we have a number that's going to voicemail, and the company will listen to the voicemail and then call you back and talk to you about the possibility of you using that program. If you are interested, it's entirely up to you, and you can decide. They can call you, and then you can decide whether you want to participate. I will give you the phone number that you could call and leave a message and be contacted. If you're ready, I'll give you that phone number.
Okay, I'm ready.
It's 803-988-7132.
Okay. 803-988-7132.
Yes, ma'am, and I thank you for participating this morning, and I have no further questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Ellaby. Ms. Robinson,
yes.
This is Commissioner Belser. I know that the company has just given you the telephone number for you to call. May we have permission to give the Duke representative your telephone number so he can call you?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. We would not otherwise we would not release your number to somebody. But if you give us permission, I will give it to the Duke representative for them to call you.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Okay. And let them know if they call me to leave a text message so I know who's calling. Because like I said, my phone is anything that's not in my contacts, it goes to silent.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Let me see if there are any more questions for you. Ms. Given?
I have a few questions.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Ms. Williams Robinson. How are you?
Good morning.
Good. My name is Nicole Given, and I'm representing the Office of Regulatory Staff in this case. I heard during your testimony that you experienced some increases in your power bill. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And did I also hear you correctly that what you're paying in your electric bill now represents about a third of your income?
That's correct.
Ms. Williams Robinson, are you having to make any adjustments in your budget based on the increases that you've experienced as well as the proposed increase by the company?
Yes.
Could you describe those increases for me? Or just describe those adjustments for me? I'm sorry.
Well, that means when I pay too much money in power bill, that's less money I have to pay for groceries or supplies for my home. you know, I have less money if I'm putting all this money into the power company, that I have enough money to do what else I need to do to take care of the needs of this home, you know.
And about how many people live in your household, Ms. Williams Robinson?
It's one. Occasionally, my brother is here. He's disabled. Occasionally, he's here, and so I use a little bit of power there, but that has not been the case in the past.
Okay. Ms. Williams Robinson, it also sounds like you got married recently, so congratulations on your wedding, and thank you for your testimony this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just a moment, Ms. Robinson. Commissioner questions, Commissioner Caston.
No, Madam Chair, I don't have any questions, but are you able to hear me okay?
You are very low. But just, okay, thank you. We'll get back with you in just a second. Commissioner Justin Williams, do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Thank you for your testimony today. I just want to get a little more information from you regarding your thoughts on your energy company, Duke Energy. When you talk about the adjustments that you need to make in your budget, based on this particular rate increase, it makes me wonder, and you may not have even thought about this, so if you haven't thought about it, that's fine. But I'm curious to know, what approach would you want your energy company to take when it comes to how they set their rates and the investments that they make to provide safe and reliable service? Would you want them to take a least cost approach, meaning any decision that they make, poles, transmission lines, whatever the case may be, that it's the least expensive possible so that your bill can be as low as possible?
Yes, that would be great. I'm looking at, if it's a budget plan, prior to this past year, my budget plan was on a yearly basis. And so there was maybe a little increase, and sometimes, because in the summertime, the bill goes down and the bill goes up. And I guess they started this time, must be November, December, January, February, March usually be the highest bills. And the bill goes down in the summertime. And then they send me a sheet with a chart on there. And from last year to this year, I didn't see any big major increases in the power usage. So I don't know why that they have increased it so harshly. And I used to be on a yearly plan, and last year they put me on a quarterly plan. And so I really rather be on a yearly plan, so then I know what I have to pay out each month is safe, it's set stable. But now what they just did recently, I don't know what's going on, because it was on a quarterly plan, and then after the end of the quarter, they need to do something. I can understand if it goes up a little bit, but I think they need to tweak it a little bit so you don't get $150 or $60 increase just in 1 month. Where are you supposed to pull that money from when you're on a fixed income? You know, Social Security don't pay you a whole lot of money. I don't know if you guys know, are you there yet or not, but let me tell you, when you don't get a whole lot of money through Social Security, and you have to budget everything that you get. And when you got a outrageous bill like that, I understand if we have a car breakdown or something and you got to pay that, so you have to come out of pocket somewhere. But your power company, your utilities shouldn't have to be a big jump like that. Because I was really wanted to call them and talk to them about that, because I haven't gotten a chance to do it yet. But I was like, that's just unreal. It doesn't make any sense. When I first moved to this house about 16 years ago, that happened one time. $300 and $400 bills, and I'm like, came from Atlanta, so I was used to, like, in the highest bill maybe it was $100 or $90. But $300 and $400 was crazy. I had to get assistance from somewhere else to help pay the power bill and my water bill, because I didn't have that kind of income when I came back from Georgia to manage that kind of bill. And so then I found out about the budget builder, so I went on to that budget builder, so it was kind of consistent. Yeah, and then at the end of the year, like I said, it would increase a little bit or it go down some, but never like what this did this time. mean, that was a big shock.
I understand. Well, let me ask you this question. If, let's say the company takes an approach that is a least cost approach in their planning for the provision of safe and reliable energy, what if that produces quality issues in your service? Because I don't think you said anything about blackouts. Have you suffered any outages or blackouts in your service?
Oh, yes, I have. Thank you for mentioning that. A couple months ago, I had never had that happen before, but I've got internet here, and it's blacked out like 2 or 3 times, and I couldn't figure out what's going on with it. They came in and they fixed an outlet or something like that, but about a month ago, it went out again, and then I changed it. And then when they came one day, they sent someone out. It didn't do anything, but occasionally in one section of the home, I did have some blackouts. You know, the power the outlets just stopped working. I don't know what happened. It just, and then sometimes it come back on, and sometimes it didn't. But I did have a few of those, and that was within the last month and a half ago.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me, ma'am?
Not that I know of about that.
All right. Thank you for your testimony. Madam Chair, thank you.
All right.
Commissioners, further questions of the witness? Ms. Robinson, thank you for taking your time today to share your experiences with us. We certainly appreciate your participation in this proceeding, and that will conclude your testimony, and we wish you a good day.
Thank you. You guys have a great day as well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
I don't think we have anyone else on the line right yet. Is that correct? So let's take a 10-minute break, and we will be back at, let me see, what time is it? 10:08. Thank you. Good morning and welcome back to the Public Service Commission of South Carolina. We are continuing with the public hearing to hear customer comments in docket number 2022-254-E, which is the application of Duke Energy LLC for an increase in electric rates and other requests. Let's take a roll call of commissioners. With us virtually, we have Commissioner Irvin, Commissioner Thomas, Commissioner Caston, Commissioner Carol Lee Williams. We're waiting for present in the hearing room. We have Chair Belser, Vice Chair Powers, and Commissioner Justin Williams. We need to wait just a second, please.
Our next witness is Jaquan Bryant. Mr. Bryant, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you, sir. If you would please affirm that the testimony you're about to give represents the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Will you please provide the commission with your name, your street name, and the name of your town, but not your full address, and then tell us whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer?
Okay. My name is Jaquan Bryant. Address is 97 McCall Circle, Bishopville, South Carolina, 29010, and I am a Duke customer.
Thank you, sir. You may begin your testimony. You will have 3 minutes. After those 3 minutes have elapsed, please remain on the line as parties or commissioners may have questions for you.
Okay. Well, thank you for the opportunity to give me this, this opportunity. Well, I would like to say that inflation has hurt everybody's pocket, but Duke Energy's pocket is a little bit more deeper than the average American. And I understand that inflation's rises, and the thing is, increasing the rate doesn't increase the pay of average Americans. And I'm a working class American. I'm in school, I work full time, and increasing this pay, the rate, will be a disservice. Now, my thing is, if you guys are going to increase it, for the 3 years, what if it don't do well? Then are you guys going to ask for another extension or another rate increase just to do, better? Or what if it do well? Are you guys going to ask for another extension to continue the rate that you're setting at? So that's my question. And Duke Energy, you got a legal team, got a CPA, got a financial team. There's a better way and alternative that you guys can go. You can write this off tax purposes. There's many avenues that you guys can take instead of hitting the pockets of average working Americans. And increasing the rate does not increase our paychecks. That's where I'm at. And so if there's a better alternative route that you guys can take, please do. And I know you probably say, well, it's only 3 years that we're asking for a rate increase, but those 3 years can be very, very detrimental to the average American that paying their light bill and that are working from paycheck to paycheck. Talk with the finance team, talk with the legal team to see what type of tax deduction that you guys can get, because I'm quite sure you guys can write it off, that's where I'm at. Increasing the rate does not increase our pay.
Mr. Bryant, thank you for your testimony. Please hold just a second and let's see if anyone has if any of the lawyers or commissioners have questions for you, please. Any questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Bryant, my name is Frank Ellerby. I'm the lawyer for Duke Energy Progress. You may not have been on the line earlier. I gave out a phone number that you can call and leave a message, and somebody from the company would then call you back to discuss with you whether there are programs that the company has that may be helpful to you in dealing with the issues that you described. It's entirely voluntary. You do not have to call. I'm not putting any pressure on you whatsoever, but it occurred to me, I've given the number out a couple of times to other folks, but you may not have heard that. So if you're ready, I'll give you that phone number, and then you can call that number if you would like to. Is that okay? The number is 803-988-7132.
Okay.
And when you call, you'll get a recording offering you the opportunity to leave a voice message. The company is monitoring that voicemail, and somebody will call you back and talk to you about whether there may be programs. The company has several programs that address either energy efficiency measures that you might be able to take, or budget billing that might help level out your bills. We will, if you call and leave a message, somebody will call you back and try to explain that to you. So I appreciate your testimony, appreciate your calling in today, and I have no further questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Ellaby. Further questions for this witness?
No questions from ORS.
Thank you, Ms. Given. Commissioners? Just a second, Mr. Bryant. Commissioners, are there any questions for this witness? Mr. Bryant, thank you for taking your time and testifying this morning. We appreciate your comments, and as there are no more questions, you are excused, and we wish you a good day. Thank you, sir.
Our next witness is Cynthia Withy. Cynthia Withy, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, ma'am. If you would please affirm that the testimony that you are about to give represents the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you. Will you please now provide the commission with your name, your street name and town, but not your full address, and whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer?
My name is Cynthia Withy. I live on Beach Avenue in Andrews, South Carolina.
And are you a Duke Energy Progress customer?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Thank you, Ms. Withy. You may begin your testimony. You will have 3 minutes, after which we ask that you remain on the line in case anyone has questions for you.
Okay. I'm calling today as the voice of the elderly and retired community who are on limited incomes. And I want to say that every time the energy rates increase, it just means hardship for people who are on limited incomes. If you increase our rates, soon we'll be having to increase our thermostats to 85 to 90 degrees just to be able to afford our electricity in the summer. And when elderly people have to increase their heat increase the level of cooling in their house like that, it just increases the number of elderly deaths and illnesses because of not being able to cool their homes in the hot summers. Anyhow, my overall wish is that they would think less about profit margins and more about the safety of the people that are served.
Ms. Withy, thank you for your comments. Let me see if there are any questions from the parties or from the commissioners.
Sure.
Mr. Ellerby?
Ms. Withy, this is Frank Ellerby. I'm the lawyer for the company appearing in this proceeding today. Thank you for calling in. Are you aware of the company's programs? It occurred to me listening to you that and I don't know whether you were speaking about your circumstances or it sounds like you may be an advocate for other older folks in the community. Are you aware of the company's program by which they'll come out, send somebody out to a home and give advice on energy efficiency insulation, weather stripping, that kind of thing. Are you familiar with that program?
Oh, yes, I am. I had that done just a few months ago.
Okay, great. And have you also talked to the company about the programs they have, the budget billing and installment plans and other programs like that to help folks level out their power bills?
I haven't descended to that yet.
Okay, but you're aware of those options. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Withy, thank you. I have no further questions. Thank you.
No questions.
Commissioners, questions for Ms. Withy? Ms. Withy, thank you for your...
I'm sorry. No, I have no further questions.
Okay. Ms. Withy, thank you for your testimony this morning. We certainly appreciate your participation and your comments, and you will be excused, and we wish you a good day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Our next witness is Faye Coleman. Faye Coleman, are you on the line?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Ms. Coleman. Yes, thank you. If you would please affirm that the testimony that you are about to give represents the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Will you please provide the commission with your name, your street name, and the name of your town, but not your full street address, and whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer?
Faye Coleman, Pine Street, Sherrall, South Carolina. I am a Duke Energy recipient, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You may now begin your testimony, for which you will have 3 minutes. After that time, we ask that you remain on the line in case the parties or commissioners have any questions for you.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank the Public Service Commission for allowing me to give my opinion about this requested rate increase by Duke Energy. It's my understanding that in October, a rate increase had already been approved. South Carolina is number 10 out of 10 states that are on the poverty level in America. Of the citizens of South Carolina, 33% to 37% are senior citizens living on fixed incomes. We are in the middle or beginning of a recession. This rate increase, while it seems minor for a month increase of $20 to $30 over the time of 3 years, can cause an undue amount of stress and burden on people to pay for their light bills. That should be a basic life thing for people to have. Interesting enough, 3 years ago, a carton of eggs would have cost you $1.29. And I don't know how many of y'all have actually been to the grocery store lately, but a carton of eggs is $6. For 12 eggs, you're paying $6. 3 years ago, a gallon of milk will cost you $2.94, and it's $4.44. As I said before, we're in the middle of a recession. I don't see things getting better anytime soon. We have 172,000 babies in South Carolina, and last year there was a shortage of formula. 1 can of formula can cost the family almost $20, which would be about the rate increase that Duke Energy is asking for. That can be the difference between a family feeding their babies or a senior citizen paying for medicine and paying their light bill. I don't know what the answer is. Maybe not worry so much about your stock owners having big bonus checks. But at this time, it is unconscionable that Duke Energy is asking for a power rate increase on a tax system already in South Carolina where families have stretched their budgets to the point of breaking. This is the worst recession in my lifetime, and it's almost as bad as the Depression. And I would really ask that the Public Service Commission deny this request from Duke Energy for a rate hike at this time. Thank you.
Ms. Coleman, thank you for your comments. Would you hold just a second and let me see if there are any questions for you?
No questions.
Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Coleman? Ms. Coleman,
Yes.
There are no questions for you, and I just want to thank you for your comments and for participating in today's proceeding, and you are excused, and we wish you a good day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next witness is Nicole Williams. Nicole Williams, are you on the line?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Would you please affirm that the testimony you're about to give represents the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Please provide the commission with your name, your street name, and your town, but not your complete address, and whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer.
Yes, sir. My name is Nicole Williams. I live on Minus Lane in Effingham, South Carolina, and I am currently a customer.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. You may now begin your testimony. You will have 3 minutes. After that time has elapsed, we ask that you remain on the line so that commissioners or parties may ask you any questions they may have.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And so we have been a long-time customer with you guys. I am a recent young widow with 3 children. This increase, I did reach out to Duke recently in regards to Elite program because I do qualify technically for that. You guys do not offer that. And there is one other program that you guys do offer. Unfortunately, I was denied that because they said due to my usage. So this increase would be hindering so many of us who are in low income or in just bad situations. We do not have the option to shop for better rates because this is just an insurance at work, because this is just the electric company that is provided. If this is done, this would severely impact most of us.
Ms. Williams, does that complete your
Sorry,
testimony?
that's it. Yes.
Have you completed your testimony, ma'am?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm at work, so I have to keep it quick.
I understand. Let me see if there are any questions for you.
No questions.
Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Williams? Ms. Williams, could you tell me what program you tried to get on with the company, but were told you could not? Do you know?
Yes, ma'am. I tried budget billing, and they advised due to my usage, because I have high usage, that I am unable to do that. I do work from home. I also go in the office, so I do have higher usage. And, honestly, before I lost my husband, we still were qualified as low income, and so we still did not qualify. So, it's like, what out do we have when these guidelines are set in place? I just feel like, I hate to use the word, but a setup. You may be approved for budget billing, but you can't use your electric but so much. Well, I turn off lights, I conserve, but, I still work from home.
Ms. Williams, can you take down a telephone number? Do you have something to write with?
One. Okay.
Duke Progress has a voicemail box that they are monitoring. And if you don't have to do this, but if you want to talk to the company about any alternatives that may be available to you, you can call this number, 803 98 803 988 7132. If you leave a message and talk about what your concerns are and explain what your concerns are, they will have someone call you back, or I am assured that they will have someone call you back.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. You can also contact the Office of Regulatory Staff. That's a separate state agency. They would have to confer with the company probably, but you can reach them at 1-800-922.
Just a moment. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me? 1-800-922-1531.
Okay.
That maybe between the two, either the company and ORS, hopefully they can assist you.
Okay.
And
Thank you very much.
thank you for taking your time and providing us with your testimony today. You're excused, and we wish you a good day, ma'am.
Thank you as well.
Thank you.
Our next witness is Calvin Evans. Calvin Evans, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, sir. Would you please affirm that the testimony that you're about to give represents the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Will you please provide the commission with your name, your street name, and the name of your town, but not your full street address, and whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer?
Do that again. I couldn't hear you.
Yes, will you please give us your name, your street name, and your town, but do not tell us your full street address, and then confirm whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer.
My name is Calvin Evans. I live 1911 East Sandhurst Drive. I'm in Florence, South Carolina, and I am a Duke Energy.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. You may begin your testimony. You will have 3 minutes. After those 3 minutes have elapsed, we ask that you remain on the line to await any questions that parties or commissioners may have.
Yes, sir. I am a homeowner. I'm renting a home here in Florence, and my energy bill, I'm on a set income, disability, and I have been, my light bill has been going up and down. I've been getting some help from some agencies here in Florence, but oftentimes this light bill, I just can't seem to keep it under control. I turn the lights off, I unplug stuff, but my bill still goes up. I started to try the what do you call it, prepaid. I can't handle that because I have other bills to pay, the rent, the water bill, groceries and whatever. But this bill just seems continuously to go up, and every time I look around, as I'm saying, that steady income that I'm on, I just can't afford it.
Mr. Evans, does that complete your testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on the line and let me see if there are any questions for you. I believe Mr. Ellerby with the company has a question.
Good morning, Mr. Evans. My name is Frank Ellerby. I'm a lawyer representing the company this morning. Appreciate you calling in. I've got a phone number, and it sounds like you've taken some steps to try to get some assistance or see what might be out there. But if you would like to, we have a phone number that you could call. It's entirely your choice, up to you, voluntary on your part. If you'll call and this number and leave a message, leave a voicemail with your name and your phone number, somebody from the company will go over with you and explore whether there may be some assistance or a program that would be beneficial to you. Would you like me to give you that phone number now, please, sir?
Yes, sir. Let me get something to write with here.
Yeah, just tell me when you're ready.
All right.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
If you give, this is Commissioner Belser with the PSC. If you give me permission to give Duke Energy the phone number that you gave us, I can give it to them and they will call you.
Okay, that'll be fine. Thank you.
I have your permission to give them your phone number. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll do that.
And then that would mean you don't have to find the pencil to write it down, and you don't have to call in and leave a message. So we'll get the number from the commission, Mr. Evans, and somebody from the company will give you a call. And we appreciate your participation, and I have no further questions, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you, sir. And y'all have a blessed day.
Wait,
God bless you all.
Mr. Evans, hold just a second. Let me see if there are any other questions.
No questions from ORS.
Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Evans? Well, Mr. Evans, thank you again for your testimony and for participating in the proceeding. We appreciate you you telling us of your experiences, and you're excused. We wish you a good day.
Thank you, and God bless you all once again.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Chair, our next witness is Marisha Hall. Are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. If you would please affirm that the testimony that you are about to give represents the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I confirm that.
Thank you. Will you please provide the commission with your name, your street name, and the name of your town, but not your full street address, and whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer?
My name is Mauricia Hall. I live on King Avenue in Florence, South Carolina. I have been a Duke customer since 2006.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. You may now begin your testimony, for which you will have 3 minutes. Do please remain on the line once those 3 minutes have elapsed, as the parties or commissioners may have further questions for you.
My testimony won't take full 3 minutes. It's simple. As everything increases, as the cost of gas currently continue to increase, the cost of food, the cost of everything, one thing that does not increase is our salaries. Things like energy and heating and the ability to light your home are necessities. Those things can't be shopped around. You can go different places for gas. You can go different grocery stores for food. You can clip coupons. You can save money. You can have all the different apps that will help you with other things. But there's nothing that will help you with the cost of heating your home. To have a rate increase not only is something that's very unnecessary, as the companies have a monopoly over how and what we do in our communities. The rate increase does nothing but hurt the consumer, especially since the consumer's financial aspect doesn't increase as rapidly. For Duke Energy to take such a drastic stance causes people like me to not only have no choice in what we do, but then it takes away from someplace else in our wallet. It makes it so that we are forced to do something that they have no understanding of how else we use our money to do. They don't understand. They don't care, basically. For me, I am a person who's on the energy saving bill every month. I make sure my thermostat doesn't go up and down. I do that because the price it costs me from companies like Duke Energy is something that I can't control. The only way I can control is to make sure that the budget that I have set for myself each month is able to cover everything that I need to have it cover in my budget. I say no to this rate increase. And I actually asked them to give a refund to those of us who've been loyal customers. That's my complete testimony.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Hold just a moment. Let's see if anyone has any questions for you. Are there questions from the parties?
Ms. Hall, my name is Frank Ellerby. I'm the lawyer representing the company this morning. It sounds like you have taken steps to try to do what you can do to control your cost and try to conserve energy. However, the company does have a phone number that you could call somebody and you would leave a message. Somebody would call you back from the company and talk to you and determine whether there may be programs that you hadn't been aware of that could possibly be of benefit to you. Would you be interested in either my giving you that phone number, or you might prefer to authorize the commission to give us your phone number that you called in on, and we would have somebody call you? Either way, so entirely up to you, entirely voluntary on your part, but we offer you those options.
I've contacted Duke Energy for different programs. I've had them come out and wrap my heater. I've had them come out and help me with my thermostat. I've had them come out and look at different ways that they could help make my home a better place for my energy and my energy bill. So the only way a program that you're talking about would help someone like me is if they come to me and say to me, okay, Ms. Hall, you qualify for a reduced program. You qualify for a reduced heating bill. But it's not just me that I'm thinking about.
It's not just me. It's about every person in our community. So you're telling me that you're going to give me, not just me, every person in my community, every person who is of a certain means, and even if I'm not of a certain means financially, the idea that you want to increase my bill without consideration of everything that everyone does, it's just not fair to the consumer. If you can tell me the increase of my bill is going to help the next person, then I would tell you to increase it. The only people that this increase is going to help is the people who are being able to sign on the bottom line. Tell me that the persons who are at the top of the chart, who don't have to pay as close attention to their bills as the rest of us do, tell me that the increase is going to help them to be able to share what they have with everyone else. Duke Energy can come out and help me do everything that you're telling me that they're going to help me come out and do. However, come out to every single person who is a part of their company, who doesn't have a choice in which company they go to. I'm in an area where I don't get to choose which energy company I have. I'm in an area where Duke Energy is the only company that's available for me. That's a monopoly. So even if they come out and help me with those things, I still have no choice. I can go to a different grocery store if I feel like the one that I go to is too high. I can go to a gas station differently. I have the program, the app that I can use to help me choose which gas station I want to go to lower my gas price and then get refunds. So for you to tell me that there are programs, are these programs open to everyone? Are they going to not be based on our income? Are they going to be considering the fact that regardless of what happens, these programs don't last, they change year to year?
Well, Ms. Hall, I can't answer all your questions. I can give you the phone number if you would like it. It sounds like you have tried to take advantage of programs, and it may be that you would prefer not to do that. Would you like the phone number?
So all you care about is that I would not take the phone number. The actual concern of your company isn't that the people have problems with it. It's that whether or not, whether or not they will take advantage and be another notch, being able to say, oh, I offer these programs, but no one takes advantage of it. So because they don't take advantage of these programs, or they do, then I should be able to still increase the rate without considering them.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. We appreciate it. We've listened to, we've got people from the company listening to your concerns and listening to what you've had to say this morning. We appreciate your testimony, and Madam Chair, I have no further questions.
Thank you. Further questions from Ms. Hall?
No questions from ORS.
Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Hall? Ms. Hall, thank you very much for taking your time to talk with us and give us your testimony today and for participating in this proceeding. We thank you for your participation, and you're excused, and we wish you a good day. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Our next witness is Bernard Nelson. Mr. Nelson, are you on the line?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. We will now ask that you would please affirm that the testimony you're about to give represents the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Please provide the commission with your name, your street name, and the name of your town, but not your full address, and then let us know whether you are a Duke Energy Progress customer.
Bernard Nelson, Bishopville, South Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. And you are a Duke Energy Progress customer?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You may now begin your testimony, for which you will have 3 minutes. We do ask that after those 3 minutes have elapsed, that you remain on the line so that any commissioners or parties involved may ask you any questions they may have.
Okay.
You may begin your testimony.
Listen, it's hard right now on me. With the price of everything that's going up, and with my light bill, it's already high. Even at night when it's cold, I constantly I cut the heat off, so my bill won't be as high.
most modern home, but this is the only home that I have. And here it is. Everything is going up, up, up. And my income is not. Now, you all raised the bill. The little change that I did have, I won't have. So how's that going to help me? It can't help me because you all just constantly hurting me. Every time you turn around, someone is going up, up, up on bills. And the money is not getting no higher coming in. I do my best to keep my house where it will stay warm and stay cool. But this rate increase, bad situation as it is with bills. And it's hard.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Does that complete your testimony?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Please hold just a second and let me see if anyone has questions for you. Mr. Ellaby?
Good morning, Mr. Nelson. My name is Frank Ellerby. I'm the lawyer representing the company this morning. Appreciate you calling in and expressing your concerns. The company, and I don't know whether you're familiar with these, the company programs that are offered. There's some that help with energy efficiency measures, and there's some that can help with sort of budget billing, so you level out your payments. If you would like me to, I would give you a phone number that you could call. You can leave a voicemail. Somebody from the company will call you back and explore whether there may be programs that would help you out that would address your particular situation. Would you like me to give you that phone number for you to make that call?
Yeah, you could give me the number.
All right. Tell me when you're ready to write it down, and I'll give it to you.
All right.
Okay, it's 803-988-7132. And if you will leave your name and your telephone number on that voicemail, somebody from the company will call you back. And I hope they will be able to find something that would help address your concerns. Appreciate your participation, and I have no further questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Hold on, Mr. Nelson. Let's see if there are any other questions.
Just a clarifying question, Madam Chair. Mr. Nelson, good morning. My name is Nicole Given. I'm representing the Office of Regulatory Staff in this case. Did I understand your testimony correctly that you've actually cut your heat off at night when it's cold in order to conserve?
At times, yes.
Have you had any other issues heating your home recently?
No, this is my energy bill. I'm trying to help stay down. I mean, it constantly it goes up, miss. It goes up, and I'm on a fixed income. So by the time I pay that and everything else, I don't have anything left.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification, Mr. Nelson. I appreciate your testimony this morning, and I have no further questions for this witness.
Thank you, Ms. Given.
All right.
Commissioners, any further questions for Mr. Nelson? Mr. Nelson, did you get the phone number that Mr. Ellaby gave to you?
Yes, I have it.
Okay. Do you want to call them? If you give me permission to give the company your telephone number, they will call you.
Okay.
Do you want me to give the company your phone number so that they can call you?
Okay, yes, that's fine.
Okay. I have your permission to do that. I just want to make clear.
Yes.
Okay. We will give them the number that you gave to us, but I can only give it to them if you tell me I can do that.
Right.
Okay. Then we'll take care of that. Mr. Nelson, I would like to thank you for your testimony today, for taking your time to participate in this hearing. We hear you, and thank you for testifying. And you're excused as a witness, and I just want to wish you a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Madam Chair, at this point, we have contacted or attempted to contact multiple times every witness listed on the witness list for this morning's public hearing, and we have no further witnesses on the line.
Okay. Anything else from the parties before we adjourn? I think I have 3 phone numbers to get to you, Mr. Ellaby. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. If there's nothing further before the commission this morning, we will adjourn this public hearing, and we will convene on Monday, January 9th, for the hearing where the company and the other parties will present their witnesses. 10 a.m. See you then. Thank you.